Hello, WWE wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling 101 here on my YouTube channel. I'm your host, legendary WWE fan, Alex Cardinale. Today, I am going to be reviewing and recapping the WWE draft of this year, 2021. So the WWE draft started last Friday on October's first Friday Night Smackdown, and it concluded 2 days ago on this week's Monday Night Raw on October the 4th. So this year, the draft had a lot of unexpected changes, in my opinion. Today, I'm going to go over who got drafted to Monday Night Raw and the superstars that got drafted to WWE Smackdown. I'm also going to share my thoughts on the WWE draft. I'll discuss who won the WWE draft, which brand won, and finally, I'm going to talk about feuds that I want to see after the WWE draft. So, one thing that was announced by the WWE is that these rosters are not going to change until after Crown Jewel. So the draft roster does not take place until the Friday Night Smackdown, which I believe is October 22nd after Crown Jewel. So the rosters are going to stay the way they are before the draft until October 22nd. All right. So, what are your thoughts on the WWE Draft 2021? Post them in the comments, or if you're watching this live, post them in the chat. So, before I begin, I would like to welcome everyone to today's video. I hope you had a great day, and thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope you enjoy my pro wrestling content, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to today's video. Let's get started. So I'm going to start by talking about the WWE superstars that were drafted to WWE Raw. WWE Champion Big E, Raw Tag Team Champions Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, WWE Hall of Famer, the Rated R Superstar Edge, Keith Lee, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, United States Champion Damian Priest, AJ Styles, Omos, Kevin Owens, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, Olympic gold medalist Gable Stevenson, Drake Maverick, Reggie, Akira Tozawa, Chad Gable, Otis, R-Truth. I can't believe R-Truth is still wrestling. John Morrison, T-Bar, Apollo Crews, Commander Aziz, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Jackson Riker, Veer, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and The Miz. The woman superstars that are coming to Monday Night Raw: Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Nikki Ash, SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Nia Jax, Zelina Vega, Doudrop, Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan, Mia Yim, Tamina, and Tegan Knox. So those are all the superstars that were drafted to WWE Monday Night Raw. Now I'm going to go over the WWE Superstars that were drafted to WWE Smackdown, the best brand in WWE, in my personal opinion. For the male superstars, these following male superstars were drafted to WWE Smackdown. Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of The New Day, Happy Corbin, Madcap Moss, Isaiah Scott, Top Dollar, Ashanti Adonis, Jeff Hardy, Jimmy and Jay the Usos, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, King Nakamura, the reigning Intercontinental Champion, and Rick Boogs, Sheamus, Eric and Ivar of the Viking Raiders, Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, Cesaro, Ridge Holland, Sami Zayn, Drew Gulak, Mace, Mustafa Ali, Mansoor, Jinder Mahal, and Shanky. All those male superstars were drafted to Friday Night SmackDown. Now, for female superstars, SmackDown got Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, B-Fab, Naomi, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Zia Lee, Aaliyah, Tony Storm, Shotzi Blackheart, and the Queen, Natalia. So those are all the superstars that Friday Night SmackDown got. So my thoughts on the WWE Draft 2021. It was pretty cool to see some superstars switch brands. I have to tell you that I am excited to see Drew McIntyre on Friday Night SmackDown. He kind of got stale on Monday Night Raw. I mean, all he did was fight for the WWE Championship. And I'm sure people that watch Raw are going to be excited to watch new contenders competing for the WWE Championship. So I think Drew McIntyre gets a fresh start over on Friday Night SmackDown. He can work his way up to facing Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship and maybe be the one that dethrones him at next year's WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas. So I can't wait to see what Drew McIntyre brings to Friday Night SmackDown. The New Day going to Friday Night SmackDown is kind of interesting. Maybe it'll be on SmackDown that either Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods turns heel. I think it's time to end the New Day. They've gone on long enough. Big E is already a world champion. I think it's time that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods go their own way and become singles competitors again. One thing I can say about SmackDown is now they have plenty of challengers for the Intercontinental Champion. You've got a future Hall of Famer in Jeff Hardy, who could also challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship if they needed a contender for the title for one of the upcoming pay-per-views. Then you've got Sheamus, who can compete for the Intercontinental Championship. And you've got Ricochet, a superstar who I felt was a little bit misused on Monday Night Raw. He literally was thrown into a match with Brock Lesnar at Super Showdown in 2020, and he got decimated in seconds by Brock Lesnar. What was the point of giving Ricochet a WWE Championship match like that if he's going to be destroyed? So that was kind of sad, but I think SmackDown's a fresh start for Ricochet. I think he can rebound. and hopefully become Intercontinental Champion and work his way up to maybe challenging for the Universal Championship. So I am really excited to see what Ricochet does on SmackDown. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, I'm excited to have them on SmackDown. Hopefully, they can win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I think Carrillo and Garza versus the Usos is a great match. And Charlotte Flair definitely belongs on SmackDown. I think she's a great female superstar. A lot of people don't like her, but I think she's very talented and she can bring a lot to Friday Night SmackDown. Now, I think she probably will most likely lose the Raw Women's Championship at Crown Jewel, but I think she will be in the SmackDown Women's Championship picture. Sasha Banks remains on SmackDown, which is great. I think she's better on SmackDown. Shayna Baszler on SmackDown is interesting. I think Shayna Baszler is going to put on one heck of a show on SmackDown, running through the SmackDown women's roster. I'm excited to see Shotzi Blackheart get a shot on the main roster as a singles competitor. I think she's a future SmackDown Women's Champion, so I cannot wait to see what she has in store. Now, I was a little bummed out that Seth Rollins got drafted to Raw. I really, really liked Seth Rollins over on Friday Night SmackDown. So I was kind of disappointed when he got drafted to Raw. Also disappointed that the Rated R Superstar Edge got drafted to Monday Night Raw because Edge was doing great on SmackDown, and the best moments of his career was over on SmackDown, in my personal opinion. Mysterios, they can prove themselves on Raw, and maybe you can test Dominic Mysterio turning on his father. I think that would be great over on Raw. Austin Theory, great pickup for Monday Night Raw. Also, Raw picked up a good tag team in Chad Gable and Otis. That's going to be great. And then, of course, you've got John Morrison and The Miz. When The Miz comes back from Dancing with the Stars, that feud probably going to lead into WrestleMania, which is great. And I was surprised to see SmackDown, or excuse me, Monday Night Raw get Bianca Belair, and of course the SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. So I think either Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch are going to do what they did last year with the tag team champions, and they're going to swap titles, or both Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair will lose the titles to their challengers at Crown Jewel, and they'll have to work their way back to becoming Raw and SmackDown World Women's Champion. So that's my overall thoughts on the WWE draft. I think it was pretty interesting. I'm interested to see what feuds come out of this WWE draft. But it is kind of sad. SmackDown, my favorite show, lost Edge. They lost Seth Rollins. But hey, at least we kept the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, the Usos, and the Bloodline. And at least we kept King Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion. Now, Bayley and Brock Lesnar, two of the biggest superstars cannot be drafted, are free agents, which means they can go to any brand that they choose. So obviously, Brock Lesnar will be on SmackDown when he faces Roman Reigns, but probably after Crown Jewel, he's going to go on a hiatus. He'll probably win the 2022 Royal Rumble and compete on Raw for a while until he decides to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, maybe, and he defeats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 32. All right, that brings me to my next topic. Who won the WWE draft? Which brands came out the winners of the WWE draft? As much as it's going to pain me to say, I have to say that Monday Night Raw got the best of the draft because they got a Hall of Famer in Edge, they got Seth Rollins, they got Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair. Those four picks alone were awesome. However, don't take anything away from Friday Night SmackDown. They got Jeff Hardy, they got Roman Reigns, King Nakamura, Tegan, or what's her name? Shotzi Blackheart, Charlotte Flair, and some awesome up and coming talent like Roberto Carrillo, Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, Mansoor, and Shayna Baszler. One thing that confused me was that they're kind of starting a storyline between Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, but now Baszler's drafted to SmackDown and Nia Jax is on Raw. So when Nia Jax returns, she won't feud with Shayna Baszler unless she comes back and eliminates Baszler in the 2022 Royal Rumble. Anyway, I say that WWE Raw won this year's WWE draft. The question is, however, will Raw be able to turn into a decent show again? As we all know, Raw has been on a slump and has been kind of shitty lately. But now, with all these pickups, hopefully by next month at this time, Raw will be a good show, a good B plus show compared to the A show, Friday Night SmackDown. All right, before I get into my last topic, I want to remind everybody in the comments of this video, share your thoughts on the WWE Draft 2021. I want to hear them. I want to read them and I want to see them. So tell me your thoughts on this year's WWE Draft 2021. All right, my last topic for tonight, feuds I want to see now that the draft has concluded and now that the rosters are going to change after Crown Jewel. The first feud is from Friday Night SmackDown, and it is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. I know they had this feud in 2019 for WrestleMania 35, but that was when Roman Reigns was a face and Drew McIntyre was a heel. I think this could be an even better feud with Drew McIntyre being the face and Roman Reigns being the heel, and McIntyre chasing Reigns for the Universal Championship. I think that will be a good feud. Jeff Hardy challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship could be a good match as well. Maybe Jeff Hardy introduces the Willow character to the WWE audience on Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Mustafa Ali and Mansoor versus the Usos. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza versus the Usos are two tag team feuds I'd like to see on Friday Night SmackDown. Charlotte Flair versus Sasha Banks would be an interesting feud again. Charlotte Flair versus Shayna Baszler, that would be good. Charlotte Flair versus Shotzi Blackheart would be good. Shotzi Blackheart versus Sasha Banks is an interesting match. Now for Monday Night Raw, I've got two matches that I really want to see that I can think of right now, and that is Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. Maybe have Seth Rollins be the heel and Matt Riddle be the face. I think that would be an interesting match. So Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle would be a great match. And also Seth Rollins versus The Miz. I know Seth Rollins beat The Miz and Finn Balor at WrestleMania 35, maybe? No, WrestleMania 34. It was WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. but they never had a one-on-one feud, and maybe it can happen on Raw. Rollins versus The Miz. All right, WWE fans, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed my review and recap of the WWE 2021 draft. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale, because I've got some amazing videos coming up for you. I've got cooking shows, baking shows, tropical fish and aquarium shows, talk shows, and of course, pro wrestling shows. So there is something for everybody. I've got my 500th video coming out soon. I've got a prize giveaway going on that's already started for my 8-year anniversary. And I've got my 8-year anniversary celebration emanating live from Icon Park in Orlando. You don't want to miss that. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. My next pro wrestling video is going to be on Saturday, October 16th, and that's going to be my second episode of WWE's Dirtiest Secrets. And I'll be talking about the Montreal screw job, where Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. And after that, I'll have the Crown Jewel pre-show at noon Eastern on Thursday, the 21st. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode of Pro Wrestling 101. Peace out, and have a great night. Attend! Sergeant Alex Cardinale here, wishing you a happy and scary Halloween season. Don't forget, maggots, to turn into the 2021 Halloween Bash, hosted by me, Sergeant Alex Cardinale, live on Halloween night, October 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Be there or be square. And that's in order.